Hey guys, CJ here with a brand new review for a brand new Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Now, on the heels of last week's episode, Skye is, of course, chilling in Afterlife with Lincoln and her mama, who she does not know is her mama. Coulson and Hunter are on the run. Fitz has just escaped the real S.H.I.E.L.D., although he's now being tailed, and Simmons and May are still there, chilling, getting the real S.H.I.E.L.D. sales pitch. They're trying to be recruited, I suppose you could say. So let's just dive right in. There's a ton going on, and I'm going to cover this as quickly as possible. But the storyline is divided between three parts: Skye in the Mountains, and both modern-day and flashback Melinda May. And the flashbacks are particularly interesting, detailing the day that May became the Cavalry. That's what they were selling this episode on, is like, you finally find out about Melinda. That's what they named the episode after her. So the big focus of modern-day May is her faith in Coulson clearly being tested by the revelations that Bobby is laying at her feet, specifically that Coulson is living a little bit of a double life. He's channeling funds and resources into something called Theta Protocol, which is what exactly, we don't know. Now, the real S.H.I.E.L.D. seems to think that it's a separate base for those who are powered. However, I wouldn't take them at their word, especially since we can't really get Coulson's side as he's on the run somewhere in Mexico. Now, this all kind of backfires on Simmons a bit, who's playing with Fitz seems to have hit a wall, as May now wants to open Fury's toolkit too, but they don't have the real one since Fitz does and he smuggled it out. Now, this episode, Skye's storyline focuses on the beginning of her training with Jiayang, who she still doesn't know is her mother. Now, her training ranges from causing avalanches to causing music using vibrations in glass cups, but the training offers us the most incredibly emotional moment in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. history. I mean, Skye discovers the truth about Jiayang. She discovers that Jiayang is her mother. And I got goosebumps, guys. I mean, if you didn't feel anything watching that, you aren't watching the show and you're not human. And it's also served as an incredible example of the acting range of Chloe Bennett and Deacon Lockman as Jiayang. And really, it's not only probably the most emotional moment in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. history, it is one of the best moments, I would say, one of the top 5 moments in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. history. Now, this brings us to the flashbacks, the money shot, the money storyline. Young May, so naive, so impressionable. We finally get to the bottom of why they call you the Cavalry, and it all changed one fateful mission in Bahrain. And the big twist is that Ava Belyakov, the woman they had been seeking the whole time, wasn't the gifted. It was her daughter, who was an inhuman who had gone through the Terrigenesis. Now, her powers were straight out of a horror movie. I mean, she controls these mindless pain zombies by leeching off their emotions. And it's with this revelation that we learn why/how May became so cold. She was forced to kill the evil little girl. And it's also interesting to see that this is how the legend of the Cavalry began, which is that, you know, all the knocked out S.H.I.E.L.D. agents from the strike team that went in to try and rescue the little girl first, they're trying to piece together what happened when they woke up and their dozens of captors went down, and they kind of realized that Melinda was the only one standing, and so they think she went in and took out these 30 people, which is why May hates that story. Because it's not how it happened, but that's the legend of the Cavalry, and the big quote is, "The Cavalry went in after all." So it's kind of, I guess, May is living the legend now. Now, the end credits for this episode see Fitz open Fury's toolbox and manage to contact Coulson and Hunter successfully, and it looks like the Hunter-Coulson bro field trip is going to have one more passenger. Now, the real highlight of this episode is how well it was constructed. I mean, really, kudos to the writers for weaving together an interesting plot that combined all 3 of the storylines. And this is big. This is my favorite part of the episode by far. When I say that, here's what I mean. Now, modern May was recalling the Bahrain May memory to remember Coulson, to remember everything that Coulson had done, and one of the most impactful moments of her life involving Coulson. But the Bahrain memory was also told to the audience through Jiayang, who was telling it to Skye as a cautionary tale for why Terrigenesis is only given to those who are prepared. And it turned out the little girl that went through Terrigenesis, Jiayang was like, no, she's not ready. There's darkness, and it happened anyway. So that's just it. The construction of this really blew my mind, just how tiered it was. This episode is definitely worth watching just for that story construction, the way it's written alone. Masterful work. And, you know, as far as acting goes, I already mentioned how great Deacon Lockman and Chloe Bennett were, but Ming-Na Wen stole the show. I mean, she's the highlight. When is she not? But she really demonstrated just how horrible and jarring that whole experience was. She did a great job portraying that to the audience. Now, a big part of that is the return of Blair Underwood as May's ex-husband, which is also great, though it's really brief, unfortunately, as he kind of just gives his all in every scene that he's in. But Ming-Na, give yourself a round of applause. I would if I wasn't holding my mic right now. Just slow clap, everybody. Slow clap at home for Ming-Na. So overall, this was a really great episode. I'd rate it a 9 out of 10. I have no negatives, and so a lot of you are probably going to say, why doesn't it get a perfect score? It doesn't quite reach the bar set by some of the previous episodes of this series, which I think is a good thing. It's no fault of its own. It's not perfect. Well, it is a virtually perfect episode. It just doesn't quite reach the bar that this show has set. which I think is a good thing. I mean, that just says more about this show than it does about this episode in general. So 9 out of 10, near perfect episode, but I want to hear your thoughts. Tell me in the comments below what you thought of this episode. Really, a lot revealed. A lot is happening in S.H.I.E.L.D. They've picked up the pace so much. So that about wraps it up for me here. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Signing off, this is CJ, and I'll see you next time.
Oh, hey. I hope you guys enjoyed what you just saw. I don't know what exactly you just saw, but I hope you guys enjoy it. And if you really did like it, go check out our other stuff. You know, we have social media, Facebook, Twitter. The link should be somewhere here. Also, we have other channels too. We have our movie video game channel. We have our music channel. Obviously, our comic book channel too, because we know we do all that entertainment awesomeness. We also have a website. Go to our website, hybridnetworkyt.com. And check out our other videos. That's all I really have to say. It's Josh, and I hope you guys enjoyed what you watched.